Happy New Year. I'm back just touching bases. Uh, so far this new year, I tried to fast, which started Sunday, Monday-ish last week because I work nights. It didn't go too well. I'm like I guess what Philip Mitchell would call it is a punk American, and it started off well, like the first day. Got into the third day. I was so hungry. Bread and water is not like the way you to survive. It kind of yeah, it sucks. You gotta be. It's a process. I want to say. Maybe I wasn't ready this time, but next time I'll be ready. Keep building myself up. Stay faithful in the word. Stay faithful to my mission, and gradually it it'll work out eventually. I have faith in that. I believe in that. So I lasted 3 days. And it sucks because I was at work and it came to lunchtime and I went to the break room. They had this macaroni and cheese bowl, the chicken on top, the barbecue. Ooh, I had to have it. I had to have it. So yeah, I completely failed. But in other areas, um I was successful as far as my prayer, um, finding new messages, uh, my life, my heart, my spirit. Um, when you following Jesus and you want to live like him, things can change in a matter of seconds. Your heart, the way your mind, the way you think, it could be minutes. But then it's about that change and that shift that you want to make for the better. It's about keeping it and keep doing it instead of falling back and making the same mistakes that you previously might have made in the past. And I have to say I'm in my third year and I just keep elevating in different areas of life in the way I view things. And my heart, oh, I got some chicken briggies in the background cooking. I'm gonna eat that. So one of the things that I started last year, no red meat, and I just wanted to continue it on. There wasn't like New Year's resolutions I wanted to make for myself. I just wanted to continue my path and following Jesus and change the sinful things about myself that I don't like. Sinful natures, and one for me was like smoking. I already don't drink, but I don't want to smoke either. I don't want nothing, no toxins in my body, nothing that's gonna unpurify my mind or have my mind in a certain place where I don't need to be. Especially when you're dealing with loss and you're dealing with being a parent and a man, trying to figure out your place and what you can do in the world. You don't need like negative attributes or toxins that can deter your judgment, your spirit, your heart, the way you feel. So today, I want to talk about relationships and relationships for me over these past couple years since I came back to Christ. Because I can honestly say I've been on a journey with Christ since I was a kid, going to church for my grandma at the Church House of Levi's, and going to Catholic church with my aunt Nancy. In hindsight, looking at the differences between churches, but still the same message of following God. I never I can't really say for myself I've had a bad church experience, and I think mainly because I'm able to keep it on my mission and what God has for me. It's not really about you could get hurt by a church or hurt by people, but hurt in relationships. But if you are on that path, is that what Jesus? Is that what God? Is that what He's putting on your heart and telling you to do, or how to feel, react? So I heard something on a podcast that I saw, and I want to say it was like Tim Ross. He's a pastor. He had asked somebody, and this goes for men and women. It could be friendship, relationships. Is that person in your relation you're in a relationship with or in your life? Is that someone you want your child to be like? Whoa, whoa, don't go there. I mean, I'm able to look at it from experience and being in different places in life. I have a daughter and I have sons, so for me, I would look at it like I'm not in the streets. I don't want to be in the streets. I know what the streets gonna lead to. I know what selling drugs leads to. Call me a punk, whatever you want, but I'm gonna stay free. I'm gonna stay alive, and that's okay. And I want that for my children. So I wouldn't want any influences to be around my children that can steer them in the wrong direction. Instead, they see me following Christ and they see where it's lead to, but they also see the other side of me doing dumb, stupid things or drugs or just thinking I was somebody that I didn't have to be. I didn't want to be. Just confused, a confused man, a confused boy thinking he was a man. Okay, and I also have a daughter, so I wouldn't want any woman in my life or around my daughter that I couldn't see her being like. I wouldn't be in no toxic relationship. Don't get me wrong, people argue. That's like a adult thing. People disagree. But far as her seeing me, how I react to a female or in certain situations, that's something me and her had to sit down and talk about because I don't want her to have the wrong idea of how a woman should be or how she should be in life growing up. And I can honestly say the same would go for a woman. I'm not a woman. I can't tell you how a woman should live, but I would think that if you have a son, you wouldn't date a man that you don't want your son to be like. So you wouldn't date a man that's going to put his hands on you or disrespect you. And I don't want my, and for me, I don't want my kids to see me disrespecting a woman. And that's something I had to dial back and learn how to not do and respect women more as the way I talk to them, as the way I see them, because I have a daughter and I don't want her that to carry on in her life later. You know? So if you're a woman and you have a son or a daughter, why wouldn't you watch the people that you be around or you have around because you don't want that for your kids? So I don't hang with certain kind of men. I don't talk to certain kind of men because I don't want. I've been that, and I don't want that for my son. And I think the same goes for women when you start looking at relationships and the kind of men you deal with because your kids see all that. So let's be careful of that in 2025. And I'll leave you with Galatians 5:14. For the whole law can be summed up in this one command: love your neighbor as yourself. Also, 2 Corinthians 6:14. Don't team up with those who are unbelievers. How can righteousness be a partner with wickedness? How can light live with darkness? And for that, be around people that are equally yoked, got the same goals and want the same thing. Follow Jesus. Jesus loves you. Stay prayed up. Have a blessed day.